good afternoon, good evening, good day. This is DFG and the place to be. Today I'm having a slight bit difficulties, but I'm only on YouTube Live today. Um, Got to get that taken care of. Well, anyway, today's topic is going to be loneliness and loneliness epidemic. And before I go on, I'll say I'm the man, it's the man with the golden voice, the lady's choice, and of course, smooth as a Rolls Royce. I'm coming to you live from the 571 where I'm having fun and I'm getting things done. And before we keep going, I'm going to turn it over to my sister from the same Mr. and same Mrs., the Chocolate Pearl, my favorite girl. Go on, girl.
Hey, y'all. This is Chocolate Pearl from Duval, coming to rock everybody's world with all of my conversations.
That's what's up. That's definitely what's up. Before we go on out and talk about, oh, we got the sweetest girl, that sweetest Snapple. Go on, Miss Apple. Holla at your boy.
Good evening, everyone. Um, Glad to be here as usual. Hope we have a great show.
Well, I got a little video I made today before the show. I was going to talk about a little bit about the loneliness epidemic. If y'all could look, just pay attention, look on the screen. I made it so I don't have to say free use.
States. While often described as a feeling, loneliness is increasingly recognized as a significant public health issue with substantial physical and mental health consequences. Key aspects of the loneliness epidemic. High prevalence. Studies indicate that a significant portion of the population, including about half of adults in the U.S., report experiencing loneliness. Some groups, like young adults, 18 to 24, and specific ethnic and racial minorities, report even higher rates of loneliness. Impact on health. Loneliness is linked to a range of health problems, including increased risk of premature death, heart disease, stroke, dementia, and mental health conditions like depression and anxiety. The health impact is comparable to that of smoking or physical inactivity. Contributing factors. Several factors are thought to contribute to the rise in loneliness, including changing social structures, decreased participation in community groups and civic life, increased geographic mobility, and the decline of third places, like bowling alleys or community centers, where people can connect. Technology and social media. While offering connection, online interactions can sometimes be a poor substitute for face-to-face relationships and can even exacerbate feelings of isolation. Pandemic-related social restrictions. The COVID-19 pandemic significantly disrupted social connections and may have contributed to increased loneliness, particularly among younger adults who experienced disruptions to education and social development. Individual and societal impact. Loneliness affects not only individuals but also has broader societal consequences, impacting productivity, engagement in schools and workplaces, and overall well-being. Addressing the issue. Recognizing loneliness as a public health crisis, various initiatives are underway to promote social connection and address the issue. Surgeon General's Advisory. U.S. Surgeon General Vivek Murthy has issued an advisory highlighting the dangers of loneliness and isolation and urging action to strengthen social connections according to the HHS.gov. Public awareness campaigns. Organizations are working to raise awareness about loneliness and its consequences. Promoting social connection. Efforts include encouraging participation in community groups, volunteering, and creating opportunities for meaningful social interaction. Mental health support. Addressing loneliness often involves providing access to mental health services and promoting mental well-being.
All right, now that was a quick one. I am just brought this up because a lot of people are talking about they're with somebody but they're lonely. They're by themselves. They feel by themselves even in a crowd. And although this may not be something that you personally might be going through, but I'm sure everybody in their life has had a time when they felt lonely and felt by themselves. Um, I know growing up, I had a lot of friends. I was very friendly. I was around. I was doing things, but sometimes I did feel like I was by myself. I felt nobody loved me. Everybody hated me. Went through a lot of counseling over that, but loneliness is something that it's within. It doesn't come from the outside. Because like I said, you could be with somebody, you can seem to have a good time, but in yourself, you're gonna feel kind of not there. And you know, like I said, you can be in a crowd of people and still feel lonely. That's different from being by yourself. Because some of us can be by ourselves and not be lonely because we talk to ourselves. If you don't talk to yourself, something wrong with you. I'm saying that right now. And I don't mean talk to yourself out loud. If you answer yourself, you might have an issue. But um, loneliness, is it a construct? Is it something that people just making up to try to get to socialize with folks? Or do you think people are more lonely today than they were 20, 25 years ago? I'm going to start with Miss Kim.
Me? Okay.
What do you think? Do you think people are lonelier now, or were they lonely, or were they just as lonely about 20, 30 years ago?
I'm gonna say now, due to the fact that people don't come together like they used to long time ago, where even in families where you always gather together either on, I know for myself, like having my parents alive, we would gather on Sunday after church for dinner, or we would go and play softball as a family and just do fun stuff together. Growing up, I was in a lot of organization, um, had friends, was always active, even up into my adult years. Before moving here, I had a choice in the matter whether or not I wanted to be a part of the crowd or be by myself. I had friends. If I wanted to be by myself, I knew I can drive down to Savannah or Augusta or wherever I wanted to go. If I wanted to go somewhere just for the weekend, I would get in the car and go, or either go with, take my children, or with a girlfriend, have a weekend getaway. I think now people are, since COVID, are more distant and standoffish as back in the past.
Okay, okay. And you know, and also you got to think up until about 25 years ago, people didn't move. People stayed, you know, you grew up in the same area, you lived in the same area, you married in the same area, you died in the same area, you worked in the same area. Very few people moved unless your parents were in the military or you joined the military. Um, we have similar. I'm sure Chocolate Pearl and Africa will tell you similarities between us, our relationships between with us and our first cousins and friends, and what we see with our children growing up and be it and their family and friends. Miss Summer, I know you were a military brat, so did you ever find yourself being lonely, or are people lonelier now than they were 30 years ago?
Uh, I think Kim nailed it on the head. When with anything, friendship is earned. You have to earn friendship, true friendship. You got to go through things with each other. Sometimes loyalty is tested. Uh, Society things look so glamorous online and it's not the truth. You have to be very careful about who you're around. And so I think with society, you have to be very cautious and careful.
On the behalf of myself, DFG, Chocolate Pearl, Apple, and Bean, we want to thank you for watching our show. Please come back, like, share, and subscribe. Peace.